Hello. I've decided to do something a little bit different today. Never done anything like this before for Red Fairy Wars as far as I can remember, but um, I really want to help people get into this game in any way I can. So I figured I'd record like a walkthrough or a guide for Stage 1, Lunatic A1 Stage 1, 'cause that's probably the most popular Stage 1 this game could ever have. Of course, Grid Fairy Wars has different routes and difficulties, so the way you play the game will change depending on which route you play and which difficulty you play. This will be a Lunatic A1 Stage 1 guide. Now, if you're not too familiar with the more advanced techniques in Grid Fairy Wars, the implications behind the mechanics, it might be a bit hard to understand some things, and but especially later on in the replay and other things and other routes will be hard to understand. But I think stage 1, stage portion, I won't show the boss. Stage 1 is pretty basic, so it should be fairly easy to grasp. If you are familiar, then it should be pretty straightforward. I'll just explain bit by bit, like the details. So right at the start here, these fairies will start firing at you, and a little bit to the left of where Chino is right now is where you should start out. And then as they start firing, you kind of start moving up, right and up, then right up, like this. And right about now, start charging and move down, and freeze these bullets like this. It should be turn into a nice pattern like that. Then you're gonna want to graze all these bullets before you start moving left, so you have enough charge to do this strategy, then freeze. Like that. If you have enough charge and you freeze at the right time, you'll end up sucking up all those bullets. Sometimes you might get a few remainder of the bullets. In that case, either try to dodge them or just die and restart. It's right at the start of the game anyway. This part is quite tricky. So I spawned this fairy that came from the top left there. You can see that I start a bit higher than the bottom, and then I spawn the second fairy, and then I move down right to around the bottom of the screen. If you start very high, you might not want to go all the way down to the bottom, but move down and right to spawn this third fairy. And when the first fairy fires, you move left and up. When the second fairy fires, you move right and up, like this. And then when the third fairy fires, you move left and up to this bullet right here, so that you're under this bullet. And then freeze. That way, if you do it right, you'll get a 30% area. And if you know mechanics in this game, you'll know that 30% can be very important. Freeze those. Now this part right here, you want to shoot the left side of this fairy to get your charge up. If you shoot him head on, he'll die. So you need to shoot the very edge of it. Then just move left and freeze and move up like this. Stream. Make sure you stream at a good height. Like you can see, you can kind of get a good feel for the height in various ways. There's not much of a background, but you can see, for example, after your freeze explodes, there's like percentage text and a score text on the screen. A kind of good indication of around the middle of the screen. And then you move down and freeze like this. You have to make sure that you freeze the bullets that are to your right, to your left, and above you. If you do this wrong, you'll only freeze, say, the bullets above you or the bullets above you and to the right or something. You have to, you just kind of get a feel for the positions so that you freeze bullets that are above you, to your left, and to your right. If you do it right, you'll get like a 290k, 300k around there if you do it really well. And then I like to move to the right after I use this freeze, to the right and then back to the left, because that seems to spread out the patterns just slightly for a higher freeze. After you've done doing that, move up into the middle of this ice thing, and then just stream the suicide bullets like this. Stream them so that you end up in the middle after you're done streaming. See, that freeze gave me 307k. Then, once again, you want to kind of move down. Make sure you freeze bullets to your right, to your left, and above you. Move up to the side to spread out the pattern, and then move up and stream to the middle. Now this third pattern is the most important one, and for this one you need to be higher up you need to start higher up on the screen. So start really high, like this. Wait a little bit, and then start moving down full force. Now that third one wasn't so high. Okay, there's two patterns with free fire spawning. I skipped the first one, but the second one is identical. So what I do is I start kind of in between the fairy on the left and the fairy in the middle, slightly closer to the fairy on the right, and I make sure there's a decent distance. Like you can see where the fairies are ending up. They stop just now, and then you can kind of gauge yourself the distance between us. And as soon as they fire, I move right, and then I let go right before I get hit. That's a good strategy. Okay, this mid-boss, first non-spell, pretty simple. Shoots the edge. That was a bit of a fail. Shoot the edge of Lily. And then when the wall comes, graze the wall and then freeze the wall after you've grazed it. You need to graze the wall first so that you get a higher charge. And you can kind of gauge if it's okay to shoot the middle of Lily by looking at her health. She has a lot of health, so you don't have to shoot her side the whole time. You can kind of shoot her head on a bit too. And just to defeat her. This thing is pretty straightforward. There's a bit of an intricacy depending on which kind of RNG you get here. But I'm not going to bother trying to go into that. But you can see right now I go up, I graze both these two blue lines. And then when she fires, I follow one of the blue lines. And then I freeze right before I get hit. And then I'm just kind of doing that over and over. You can change the strategy a little bit depending on what bullet RNG she gives you. But that just takes a lot of experience. Here it's one freeze and then bomb right around the time she stops firing the second time. Now. And then it's two freezes. And then bomb right before the timer reaches 3 seconds. So you definitely can't let it pass after 3 seconds, because then the bomb will explode as Lily leaves the screen and you won't get any items. But as long as you're like at around 3.5, that's fine. But you want to time it as late as you're comfortable trying to time it, because there's a very slight chance you'll get a slight amount of more score the later you time it. But it's it's almost insignificant, so timing it at about 3.5 seconds is fine. 3.2 seconds might give you a few more thousand score on average. It's kind of like that. Okay, here, make sure you graze the suicide bullets, and then graze these diagonal bullets shot by the upper fairy here. Graze them, move down, and then freeze when right after these diagonal bullets and the horizontal bullets converge. Then follow the ice going horizontally like this, and then go through and go all the way to the left, and then stream upwards the suicide bullets. You can stream them at a normal focus speed and you won't get hit, but if you go slower than that, say you move left and up at the same time, you'll probably just get hit. After you're done grazing them, immediately start going right, graze these bullets for a very short amount of time, and then freeze them the same way you froze earlier. It's kind of like a mirror. Here, this part is a bit tricky. First horizontal line has been shot, and the second horizontal no, sorry, the first diagonal line, diagonal down left, has been shot. You can see it further to my right there. There's one there. There's another one that's about to pass to my right here. Now there's going to be another one that's going to pass to my left. And there's some RNG involved with the fairy position, so this can be a bit tricky to get used to, but you want to time it, usually you want to time it around when the next diagonal line is going to be about to my upper left. Then you want to time it, or above me. It depends on the height of that fairy. So right about now, I'll freeze. Now. Okay, I actually froze a little bit later, but like I said, it's kind of hard to gauge. Depends a bit on the fairy's position. It's hard to gauge on the fly. After this, you want to make sure you look at the fairy to your left, the fairy to my left, and then the fairy above that one, and make sure that the fairy above that one isn't too high on the screen. If it's too high, you have to start this higher, because right now, after all these fairies die, there's going to be suicide bullets coming from all over, and I want to stream those downwards. But the fairy to my left, the fairy above that one is going to shoot a bullet that goes down right, diagonal, right as this ice explodes. It will probably shoot one. And that one bullet will snipe you a lot. So you want to make sure that you stream down, and while you do that, that bullet, one diagonal bullet will go below you. So let's see. See, there is one. See, there is one white bullet to my left right now. Now it's right below me. So because I started high up enough, that bullet didn't hit me. So you have to kind of gauge the position of that one fairy. And then you stream down and freeze again. And before this freeze gets a chance to explode, you have to move up again. Over here. And then stream down again. Now, when you start streaming this part down, you have to make sure your position is fine, because if you start this too high up on the screen, you will reach the bottom too slowly. If you start too far down, you won't get enough grace and you will get a bad freeze. Timing is very important. If you go down too late, it will fuck up the timing for the next strategy. So you have to get the right position. So you can see right now, I'm getting grace from bullets all over, which increases my ice charge at a rapid rate, so I can use this next freeze well. And then you start moving up, freeze, go upright a little bit. You want to make sure after these suicide bullets come that you'll stream them so that you end up in the middle again. Here, I'm in the middle. Now, this next freeze is almost like a repeat of the biggest freeze in the stage portion that was in the first half, where you want to start really high on the screen and stream downwards after waiting a little bit. This one is almost a repeat, except the positions of the fairies is different. So once again, start high on the screen, move down, freeze. And I ended up with 5,022,000, which is personal best. That's why I chose this replay to showcase. Was just all around great luck and great execution with very minor flaws. So that's the stage 1 guide. If you'd like to have more helpful either guides, walkthroughs, or just explaining tricks, techniques, strategies and stuff like that, I would be happy to. Thanks for watching my demonstration.